Scuba Diving. I'm Steph Amber and I'm Barbara Klein with Exploration in VOA Special English. Today we explore the clear blue waters around the island of the Bahamas to learn about the exciting sport to scuba diving. The word scuba stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Knowing how to dive opens up an entire underwater world of coral, fish, and other creatures. Join us as we learn the basics of diving, talk to an expert, and say hello to a shark. Imagine swimming in the clear blue waters as you look at small, brightly colored fish and the striking shape of coral organisms. The underwater world is quiet except for the sound of your breathing. When you breathe out, you see many shining or bubbles floating upward toward the surface of the water. Since humans are not designed to see and breathe underwater, scuba diving requires several pieces of important equipment. Scuba diver must wear a mask in order to be able to see underwater. The mask creates an airspace that protects the eyes and nose. Scuba diver breathe with the help of a regulator which brings air to the mouth. When they inhale, the regulator is attached to an air tank that is placed on the diver's back. 3 is an extra regulator called an octopus, which is used in case of emergency situation. Driver also wear a BCD or buoyancy control device to control how much they float or sink. A pressure with the fish tells drive how much air is left in the air tank, or a dive computer can calculate how much air is left. As a driver dive and the length of time he or she can stay underwater. Divers wear scuba fins on their feet to help them move easily and quickly through the water. Many divers also wear a wetsuit in order to stay warm underwater. To learn how to use all of this equipment, it helps to go to dive school. Becoming a certified diver requires taking 3 series of lessons. Now driver must learn about the physics and safety of diving, and they must practice diving skill first in a closed water area and then on actual beginner divers. Several organizations offer official diving certification. Scuba diving for fun first became possible with the development of the aqualung by Jacques Cousteau and Emile Gagnon in the early 1940s. In the United States, articles in popular magazines about Cousteau and his underwater exploration method helped bring attention to scuba diving. Because of the cost of the equipment, diving did not become a widely available sport until years later. Taking diving class and becoming certified are important for knowing how to dive safely. For example, you need to know how to put a regulator back in your mouth if it falls out underwater, and you need to know how to clear your mask if it fills with water. There are many other safety issues to consider when diving. For example, when going down the river in the water, a diver must be careful to equal the pressure in his or the ear. This is done by holding the nose and blowing very gently. Otherwise, the extreme pressure from the surrounding water can cause damage to the middle ear and sinus. Decompression sickness is a major concern for driver. The deeper a driver goes, the more pressure the surrounding water put on the volume of the air inside his or her lungs. And the deeper a dive, the more nitrogen gas goes into the driver's blood. For safety reasons, a driver must measure the length of his or her dive based on the depth so as not to exceed a safe amount of nitrogen absorption. When driver rise to return to the water surface, they must continue to breathe and rise for faster than the air bubble around them. For very deep dives, they must stop and deconverse at curtain level. This way, the highly pressurized air in the driver's lung has time to lift the body before it expands. If a driver rises to the surface too quickly, he or she can become extremely ill with decompression sickness, also known as the bends. Another important aspect to diving is having a buddy system. By having a diving partner, you can watch over one another. They help each other of three is an accident. One important diving rule is to never touch any of the sea life. This rule is both to protect the driver and to protect the underwater environment. For example, there is a recent fire coral received its name. This kind of coral causes a painful burning feeling if touched. A diver could also be cut by touching a sharp piece of coral. Coral might seem hard like stone, but it is actually a very fragile organism. It can be damaged if diver touch or stand on it. In order to protect the beautiful coral reef system, diver must treat them with care. Tito Baldwin: I think everyone takes a different experience away from diving. I think What they love about diving could be the color of the ocean, could be the peacefulness. It could be a gamut of things. Everyone is different. That was Tito Baldwin, a rescue driver from the Bahamas who has been diving for almost 30 years. He has done everything from diving to explore underwater shipwrecks to dive fish 80-meter deep. It might not surprise you to know Tito Baldwin's favorite fish in the world to dive. Tito Baldwin, anywhere in the Bahamas, because the Bahamas is probably the most beautiful water. The further south you get away from civilization, past Georgetown down to the Palena Case, Hogsty, Little Antigua, where it's untouched by humans. It's just vibrant, alive, colorful fish everywhere. You get some pretty good extreme diving. You have got good walls. You have got good tunnels and covers, trees, rocks, everything you call possible. Amazing. We went on a shark dive with Tito Baldwin in an area of the Bahamas called the Exumas. The dive set known as Danger Reef in just south of Indigo Island. The water throws every rock, but once you flip backwards of the boat and enter the water, you enter a calm and colorful world. The main purpose of this dive was to see the many carbon reef sharks that gather in this area. These sharks have a round and short snout and big round eyes. They eat mainly bony fish. A finely grown female Caribbean reef shark measures about 2 to 3 meters, while a grown male measures 1.5 meters or more in length. It is very exciting and a little bit strange diving among the sharks. You feel as though you should be afraid, even though the sharks are not aggressive at all. The sharks just swim around, watching what is going on around them. At Danger Reef, there were also many large nasal grove and yellowfin grover fish. If you float above the large coral formation, you can examine the small creatures swimming in the reef. The bright yellow and purple fish called the fiery basalt look like small swimming jewels. Many kinds of fish swim in the out of the brine coral, horn coral, and sea fans, which help gently with the current. Back on the boat, we asked Tito Baldwin more about the safety of diving with sharks. Tito Baldwin, when you get in the water with sharks, people are automatically shark because they have seen Jaws, they have seen all these crazy movies, but sharks are just like every other animal in the water. They are petrified of human beings. We were 2 feet away from 5-foot shark and they were just skin of circling around us like everything else in the water. The grovers were close to us. The sharks were close to us. The yellow tail were close to us. The hepkin of curious, and they are more afraid of us than we are of them. There are many other beautiful fish around the world to dive. Scuba Diving magazine recently listed several of the must-see diving sites. These include Bonaire, one of the Netherlands athletes island of the coast of Venezuela. Here, diver can explore many reefs within a protected marine park. Divers can even explore the sea creatures that live in and around the ship Hilma Hawker. This 70-meter long cargo ship sank over 20 years ago off the coast of Baja California in Mexico. Diver can see large sea creatures like sharks, giant manta rays, and dolphins. Scuba Diving magazine also recommends the Fiji Island in the South Pacific Ocean. Many divers go here to see grey reef shark or hammerhead shark. In Australia, divers can explore many interesting areas, including the Great Barrier Reef. It is the largest coral reef system in the world, measuring over 2,000 kilometers in length. This extraordinary natural formation offers many exciting dive possibilities. Also in Australia, the Coot-Hole diving area of the Ribbon Reefs is famous for its large potato codfish, and at the High Horse Bomi site, divers can swim with minke whales. Scuba diving in any of these places is an extraordinary experience. This popular activity allows people to see an expensive and exciting underwater world in a new way. This program was written and produced by Dana Dimanes, I'm Steve Amber, and I'm Barbara Clay. To see pictures of a dive in the Bahamas, visit our website voaspecialenglish.com. Join us again next week for exploration of in VOA Special English.